We're going to have the Merry Thralls versus the Gents next, I believe.
Oh, very good. Again, the Merry Thralls are a clan that I'm not too particularly familiar with, so it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see how they play.
As far as I know, it's simply an odd combination between some Gents, some Glowwater Thralls, and some Merry Men that enjoy flying together. First map is going to be Duel at Dawn. This is going to be a fast one.
This is going to be a quick one. I can already see it now. Who are our pilots for the Gents?
I do not know yet.
Right, so let's see when we get in.
I know Byron. I know Byron is going to be on there.
If it is who I'm thinking it is, there'll be a spire somewhere.
Where's my duel? Where's Duel at Dawn? There you are. Duel at Dawn. All right, the map has been created, and we'll get started here very shortly. Password is the same as it previously was, guys. I'm also going to edit the stream information. The red side, which is the red side for this one? Red side is going to be the winner from A, which was the Gents. All right, Gents are going to be on red side. Need to change the stream information just a moment, folks. Where's our Gents logo? There's our Gents logo. Do you think, Morty, that the mines were not the greatest idea in the world going into that match?
The mines were a very clever idea against a pub team or even maybe a second team of one of the major clans. It would have been a very good idea. It's a very good idea against charging ships like Pyramidians, but against Triple Artemis and Hades Junkers, I would say never a good idea. It stops them closing in, but it's not good when you haven't got much cover to hide behind. Okay. As we saw in that previous match, a lot of the match was centered around that southeast corner, flying round and round and round those pillars just to try and break Arc of Fire. Oh, I didn't know you were flying for this match, Dan.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh.
No.
It appears we have a caster and a pilot, ladies and gentlemen.
I do not pilot. There's a very good reason to don't pilot. I'm shitty at piloting. I was still setting up the web page there. The information on the website should be changed up. I missed that exchange, Kaylin. Sorry about that. I was changing the website. There's a reason I am still a gunner.
Well, with it also being one of the most fun classes you can play. Well, subject to opinion, that is. I'm a bit biased because I am one. Yeah.
Oh, we are seeing the Polonius 2 left sock spire. I'm so glad you said that.
Yes, I thought it would show up. But it's very strange. I've always seen the Polonius with a lumberjack. I think he must have been practicing with the flak.
Ooh, yeah, he has been practicing with the flak the last few weeks. He had me come in and help him a few times with that. I'm not sure he's ready yet for tournament play, but we'll soon see. Yeah,
we'll soon see. With those Dual Artemis and the Hades, you can strip pull pretty well, and if you can manage to land 1 or 2 burst rounds, just 1 or 2 burst rounds from a flak when the hull's down, it can rip through pretty much anything.
It can finish a ship off very quickly. Byron Cavendish with the Lusty Argonian Maid and the Gotshot Feast on Thrones.
For God's sake. Okay.
Who doesn't love seeing the Lusty Argonian Maid?
Me, I don't enjoy seeing it because it's always followed by Artemis up the ass.
Scrimshaw bringing his crowned tyrant in. That is a non-Metamidian. That's a Hades Artemis front with double Mercury side guns.
Double Mercury side guns are actually very underrated in this game, but I used to fly a double Mercury front gun Pyramidian, and it used to be fantastically effective. With charged rounds at range, it can strip hull extremely quickly if you can hit the hull. If it hits anything else, it's doing nothing.
We were doing an experiment. I don't know if you were a part of this, but we were doing an experiment a couple of weeks ago where we were flying a double Mercury Pyramidion, and we loaded the heatsink rounds into it, which gives you an extra shot.
So 3 instead of 2.
Yeah. 6 of those Mercury shots just back to back to back on a single target, even if there's less damage happening, devastating.
It's only minus 20% damage, so you've still got that extra, what? 120% from the 2 shells from both guns?
Oh, yeah.
So you're still doing a hell of a lot of damage.
It's a lot of damage. You can break stuff very quickly. And it's not like you need all of that damage to break a single component. Even a single shot with heatsink round in one of those field guns is enough to break a component in one shot. So instead of just being able to break 1 or 2 components at most with a full clip, you can break 3 components with a single clip. With 2 of those, 6 components.
So looking at it, there's not a whole lot of disabling potential from the Pyramidion. Yes, it does have the 1 Artemis rocket launcher, but it does have a lot of damage potential. If they can catch you with your hull down, and if those gunners are right on target, you are going to be flying mints, unfortunately, and have a long drop or a sudden stop.
Letting the teams know we are good to go. Polonius, 2 left socks, Spire. He is going to stick with the heavy flak. He also has a Hades double Artemis for support. Pure long-range firepower on his part. 2 left socks, I've not known him for being one to always get up in someone's face with his ships.
No, he's very good at the positional play, not rotating the ship too much, not coasting left and right as you see with the Artemis Junkers we saw in the previous games. He'll sit in one spot, but he knows the approaches, he knows which avenues you're going to have to fly down to get to him. Duel at Dawn, not so much. So he's going to sit down as far back as he can, maybe hide behind the large obstacle to the... Let me get my angles right this time because I got it wrong last time. I think it's to the west of the map, if I'm getting that correctly. You can sit there, and so he doesn't have to swing that flak around and reduce its accuracy. I think his favourite target is going to be that big, wide mobula, because that's a very easy target for that.
I'm not sure if it was you who coined this one or another one of our co-casters, but I remember someone calling the mobula the mortar, the mortar shot range, or the mortar landing deck.
Yes, it is a mortar landing deck. It can just, you're very, very, very easy to land anything. You don't have to aim very hard at it at all.
It's right there. It's nice and wide. It's very flat. Where if you can get slightly above that target and you can just start lobbing projectiles on top of it, it's very easy to arc them right onto that deck and start breaking everything.
That's the very unfortunate part of flying a mobula. That top deck is entirely hull damage with also weapon damage. It's very easy to get. A lot of ships, it's a lot harder to hit their undersides where the main hull damage would be. With a mobula, all you have to do is hover above it and let gravity do the work.
Going over to our Twitch chat there, Ace Rimmer says that he loves both of us, even you, even though you're Northern Monkey.
Oh, shut up. Southern Fairy.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, by the way, at twitch.tv/TheRobinDan Show. Make sure you give us a follow on here. We do activities every single day. Last couple days have been mostly Guns of Icarus. Oh, dear. What did he say now?
No, that's tickled me a little bit. For those that don't know, I'm from the north of England and Rimmer's from the southeast. Yes, southeast Cornwall. So there's a little bit of regional rivalry there. Only good-natured, but he does give me a lot of abuse.
Is it still good nature when rugby's involved?
Oh, of course not. No. When sports are involved, are you kidding me? No. Not one bit.
Now, football? What about football?
I'd rather not get set on fire, so I'm not going to say anything. It would be nice if they had any decent teams. Nudge, nudge.
Laying down some sick burn there.
Oh
my goodness.
He's probably going to have a very, very good comeback to that, which I won't be able to respond to in any dignified fashion.
Still waiting on Feast on Thrones Gunner. Apparently, they completely lost their gunner. They have a sub coming in, according to Byron, and we should be getting started here very shortly.
That's
Alistair,
okay.
Alistair McBain. I'm used to seeing him in the Overwatch chat, usually. I'm actually surprised he could play right now. Apparently, he was moving.
Apparently he was moving. I think he might have just finished or just got set up. Do the typical thing that any self-respecting PC gamer would do and set up his computer before he's moved a couch.
That's true facts right there. I think we all do that.
What would you mean I don't have a bed? No, it's okay. My computer's here. I'm fine. I have the
Sleep on
internet.
the floor in front of it. Oh, I haven't changed the title for the match. Oopsie. I didn't realize I had to change the title too. I'm trying to get used to this new system.
Then again, you do have skills which I definitely don't have, so I'll commend you for that.
This is the box social. Gents, I'm saying this out now because I cannot think and type at the same time.
Gents. As long as you don't say mallards, you're okay.
I only did that like 11 times. It's not like I did it so much.
Yeah,
Ed Gauss is back, and we are good to go here. Again, this is the Gents versus the Merry Thralls, the Glowwater Thralls with Scrimshaw, and the Merry Men of Two Left Socks in his Polonius.
Ed Goss is their gunner. That's going to be interesting. Ed Goss is quite a good long-range gunner, so I can see quite a lot of disables with that top-deck Mercury on the Mobula.
The Mercury is not the hardest gun to shoot, but in the hands of an expert, you can pinpoint your targets.
Yes, there's very little left and right movement in the weapon. So you can keep hitting the same spot over and over so long as your target doesn't move too far.
All right, checking to see if they are ready and good to go. We will get the ship loadouts as soon as we get in game. Duel at Dawn is the map. This is the first of a best of 3 in this matchup. Merry Thralls versus the Gents. Can you tell us about Duel at Dawn?
Duel of Dawn is your typical long-range sniping map. Quite a lot of cloud cover running through the center of the map with some obstacles, but overall just a barren, deserted wasteland with just debris and destroyed ships and carcasses littering the floor.
Yep, we have the ribs at both the north and southwest positions. We have the wrecked ship, and we have the big wreck in the southeast corner. This is deathmatch. First to 5 kills wins. We're going to go over the ship loadouts right now. The Lusty Argonian Maid is the first. We have the Triple Artemis, Double Hades, 3 Artemis, 2 Hades. This is a ship designed for breaking everything at mid-range.
Yes, it is.
Whether it be fires or physical component damage, it is going to destroy something. The second ship, the Got Shot, piloted by Commander Feast on Thrones. We have a Mobula. It has armed with double Artemis, Mercury, a Whirlwind, and a Cilia double-barrel mortar. The third ship, the Crowned Tyrant, piloted by Glowwater Thrall Shipmaster Scrimshaw. We have double Mercury on the side, Hades Artemis on the front. And the fourth ship, a Spire, the Polonius, piloted by Two Left Socks. We have on it the heavy flat cannon, Artemis, 2 Artemis in fact, and a Hades. Action getting underway right now. Positioning by the Lusty Argonian Maid and Got Shot for long-range combat, it seems.
They have already got a couple of successful hits on the Polonius when it spawned. It's a little bit being spawned in those southeastern ribs. You are a little bit more restricted about where to move. You can't go straight up. You can't go straight back because of the edges of the map and the obstacles above you. But they've moved into a position of fantastic cover, the Polonius Spire, flown by Two Left Socks, to hopefully get a bit of long-range fire down into open ground.
Trying to see exactly how the Polonius is positioning itself. If it could shift upwards safely, it would have a perfect cover shot against both a Lusty Argonian Maid and Got Shot.
Yes, but as you can notice, the Pyramidion, the Crown Tyrant, is moving in to the far left side to get some spots in on their targets. It's actually quite a clever flanking maneuver.
Absolutely, I agree completely. The Crown Tyrant, although it is under fire pretty heavily, Lusty Argonian Maid is trying to drop the hammer before any major damage can be done to the Gotshot. Crown Tyrant has lost their outer hull and has taken some serious permahull damage. Most of their guns are down, 2 of their engines are down. Polonius needs to drop the hammer right now on the Gotshot before it's too late.
Oh, it's just a little too late. Unfortunately, they managed. It's very tricky with the Pyramidian slightly lower than you with an Artemis to try and disable those. Ooh, someone's going to text again. To try and disable those guns because of the overhang from the balloon, but they managed to get it right that time. And the Polonius is suffering just as many troubles.
Polonius is actually caught in the position they tried to get it in the first place. Their lack of maneuverability right now forced them to bounce a couple times on these separate wrecks and force them to just hold position. Oh no, the Crown Tyrant, very poor choice in spawns. They are right there next to the Gotshot. I'm not sure this is a great idea. They were within arming time of the Hades.
That can actually be a very good idea to get very close to a modular in that way. Get that kill in as fast as you possibly can and try and divide them up. If the Spire spawns in behind the Lusty Argonian Maid as he probably can, then they're in a very good position to counterattack.
The blue team did not get credit for that kill. That's odd.
That's very peculiar.
They should have gotten credit for that kill. For some reason, though, they did not. It should be 2-1 in favor of the Gents right now. Crown Tyrant swinging his ship around best he can. He's actually lost all his engines, though. He doesn't have a lot of maneuverability available to him. Polonius bringing his guns back to bear against the Lusty Argonian Maid. Crown Tyrant rising above the gun arcs right now of both the Gotshot and the Lusty Argonian Maid.
There's a little bit of discussion in the in-game chat as to whether or not they think they may have to restart the match due to this issue with the kills.
Watching that as well now. If they do decide to restart, it should be now. It should now be 2-2 in favor of the of no one. Actually, it should be tied 2-2.
It should be 2-2. It should be 2-2. Yes, it should. The mistake they made there is to leave the Mobular alone with the Pyramidian. It did seem like a clever idea to do that, as the Pyramidian seemed to be in trouble, but unfortunately they managed to get just a bit too much hurt down on the Mobular because the Lusty Argonian Maid moved in to try and suppress the Spire, the slightly more squishy target.
Lusty Argonian Maid and Polonius exchanging fire. Polonius taking a lot of damage. Just letting them know it is the player's choice in this situation if they want to restart. I am happy to keep score, however, I do realize it is supposed to be 2-2. If they do continue playing. Lusty Argonian Maid taking a lot of fire there, but dropping below arcs right now to try and repair as best they can. And it looks like Crown Tyrant and Polonius are going for the Gotshot instead.
I think, yes, they seem to be going for the Gotshot. Again, it's the Mobular, it's a slightly squishy target, slightly easier for those flak rounds to impact, although probably not so easy in this dense cloud cover. Now, where is the Polonius? I can't see it on my screen. He seems to have disappeared into the ribs, trying to get as much range on the targets as possible.
He has good arc right now, although he is going completely off spots and not off direct line of sight. Crown Tyrant is actually absorbing a lot of the fire coming in from the Polonius.
The Crown Tyrant is unfortunately a shield for the Mobular at the moment.
Unfortunately, the Gotshot was able to get around behind the Pyramidian and completely block the shots coming in from the Polonius, using his own opponent's body. Oh my goodness, Gotshot taking a lot of fire. Woo! It is now supposed to be 3-3, all tied up.
It is very peculiar. However, in this situation, the Polonius will not be able to get a decent arc of fire onto the Junker because he's just simply right out of range. Sorry, not right out of range, right out of arc. And with no spot to guide him, he's going to struggle. Oh, down goes the spot in the lusty Argonian Maid.
The Polonius should have direct line of fire at this point. You don't need too much more than a direct spot with the flat cannon or with those Artemis. We'll see, though, if he can bring that firepower onto the lusty Argonian Maid. Looks like the Gotshot is actually dropping a lot of fire on the Polonius instead, though. Along with that cloud that has enveloped them, they're taking a lot of damage.
However, we've got the Crown Tyrant has heard the Polonius' call for help and seems to be trying to get in behind the Mobula to move them out the way. The idea I would have at the moment is to see if we can ram them, just to turn their guns off.
Too much damage.
Oh!
Too much damage on the Polonius. The Polonius, it's a Spire. It's not able to absorb that much damage. You have to be very gentle with it at times. It is not designed to take that much fire.
Dan, just take a look at the in-game chat, just quickly.
Someone get log, please? I'm not sure what that means.
Neither am I. I was wondering if you might know what's outside.
I do not know what that means.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. Wish I did. Crown Tyrant taking a lot of fire right now. Argonian Maid swing around a bump with the hull. Polonius is trying to come in with support fire.
Unfortunately, he's just, again, the Gotshot is hiding behind the Crown Tyrant.
Very tough situation right now for the Crown Tyrant. Lusty Argonian Maid and Gotshot have had minor difficulties, but overall, it is their game to win at this point. It is supposed to be 4-3, so one more kill will win it for the Gents.
However, the Mobula is under sustained fire from the Spire. Let's see whether or not the Joker can finish it on its own.
Crown Tyrant's hull has gone down once again. They're out of engines, so they are essentially stuck in the position they are sitting at right now. Lusty Argonian Maid's happy to simply sit there and continue to break their hull. That was it.
That was unfortunate. There's nothing that the engineers on the Pyramedian could have done there apart from sit on that hull and pray that something changed.
Absolutely. The Gents win that first game, 5-3. We're going to be moving on to the second map here. The map is going to be Northern Fjords. If you do see it, please select it.
And we do have a mention from chat, Rear Admiral Zilla saying it means the output log for the game, which means you need to leave Guns of Icarus to access it.
Oh, crap.
Well, we won't be able to do that just at this moment in time.
Loading the lobby here. Northern Fjords is going to be it. Let's all just quickly select that one.
There we have Northern Fjords.
We'll get going here very shortly. Just going to notify the teams.
So again, as previously discussed, we've got a lot of long-range ships on Northern Fjords again, so I expect to see quite a lot more cover being taken in and around those archers, and a lot of maneuvering this time. Let's see if Polonius and Two Left Socks change that flak loadout, because if they have to do some hard maneuvering, it's going to be difficult for that flak to find its mark.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw at least some kind of change from the Crown Tyrant. Maybe to something with a little more long-range friendly, like maybe a Mercury on the front there, especially with how long-range the Polonius is. But at the same time, I mean, you have those two field guns already on there. The front of the Hades Artemis is fine for long range if you know how to use it properly. They do have good gunners on there. I wouldn't be surprised if they just stuck with that either, as well.
It depends on their style of play in this one. There's not going to be a lot of balloon disables. There seems to be no one is packing a Carnage. There's going to be a lot of high-level, long-range fighting. It makes sense to me to keep the Hades on the front of the Pyramidion with grease rounds closing in for a ram. That's going to be very effective against both the Mobula and slightly less effective against the Junker, but still going to be a pain. Let's see. Has the Gents made any changes to their ships? No. Same again. It's triple Artemis and dual Hades for the Lusty Argonian Maid. And it's still an upper deck, oh dear, Freudian slip. Oh dear. An upper deck Mercury field gun on the Mobula with port and starboard upper deck Artemises and lower deck Gat mortar for the close-in kill.
I assume Rob right now is grabbing the logs for the moment. We didn't leave this one. It's the same one. Yeah, no, we didn't have to... Okay.
Rob had a problem where it showed him the old map type for those in stream that can't exactly hear him. He thought the map had changed, but no, it didn't. We stayed here. We forced it to do what we wanted this time. I thought I'd be your interpreter. I do apologize, Rob.
Actually, I'm unmuting myself real quick. Actually, when I was at the selection screen, it didn't show the map had changed whatsoever on there. It still showed Duel at Dawn.
Odd. Checking.
Very odd indeed.
Checking out loadouts here to see. Still no changes at all. Crown Tyrant has confirmed. Polonius should be confirming here very shortly. Yes, we are.
We're on the way.
Going. This is going to be Northern Forge. We've seen this map once before. The Mandarins versus the... who was that? That was the... BFS. BFS.
Yes, good lad.
And we saw a very confusing engagement that had a lot of mine launcher, sometimes success, sometimes failure.
Again, it's very much a 50-50 choice. If your pilot doesn't anticipate it, it can be very, very effective to use mines on this map. But if he does, like the ducks expect everything, assume they're sentient, then it's not going to fare that well for you.
Setups right now, the Lusty Argonian made the first ship, piloted by Byron Cavendish. We have double Hades, triple Artemis, the Artemi. Very long-range setup, able to snipe out both components and hulls as they would like to. The Gotshot, piloted by Feast on Thrones. It's a Mobula. We have a Whirlwind, a Cilia, Mercury, an Artemis, two Artemis, in fact. Our third ship, the Crown Tyrant, piloted by Shipmaster Scrimshaw. Already under fire, it has two Mercuries, it has an Artemis, and it has a Hades. The Hades Artemis is on front, and the last ship, Polonius, piloted by two Left Socks, that has the heavy flak, a pair of Artemis, and a field gun. That
already the Polonius getting some very accurate shots in on the Gotshot. The Gotshot's moving behind this bridge to try and get a bit of cover to break this line of sight. He's just lost his spot, so hopefully those rounds should now miss their targets just by a little bit.
That's very important for the Merry Thralls. They need to keep the Gents' heads in cover. They need to keep them ducking out of the way. They need to keep the pressure on them if they want to win this. The Gents is a they're a professional team. They know exactly how they need to work their ships to win. They're some of the best this game has to offer, and unless they can keep their heads down and force them to play defensively, they're not going to be able to win this matchup, in my opinion.
Yes, the Gents are a very organized, offensive team, similar to the Ducks in many ways. We know exactly how to play their games, but it seems that the Crown Tyrant, that we didn't think they would, but they're actually using the side Mercuries to get some good, heavy hits on the Lusty Argonian Maid, hopefully trying to strip some hull before he realizes he has to duck for cover.
I like that so much. It is a great choice for now. Crown Tyrant, they're taking a lot of fire all of a sudden. I think that's from the... Oh, that's from both ships, it seems. Mostly from the Gotshot, though. I'm seeing a lot of shots coming in from the Gotshot. Crown Tyrant losing half their permahull already. Two of their guns down. Outer hull keeps getting stripped repeatedly. Lusty Argonian Maid hasn't taken enough damage to justify the amount of killing power put on the Crown Tyrant so far.
They have some good heavy hits have actually just come in from the flak on board the Spire just to take a little bit of the Lusty Argonian Maid's permahull down, but not very much. It was only a bit of splash damage after the fracture of the hull. The Crown Tyrant has descended itself to try and get itself out of those Artemis arcs. Those Artemises can't aim very low, so it was a good idea to descend rather than to just power straight forward into cover.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Polonia is continuing to hold slightly above the rock formation, but in arc of the targets. Because of sight, though, and because of a lack of marks, neither set of ships are fire against one another.
Yes, as we suspected, that Two Socks is just simply sitting there and letting the target come to him, which is a very good idea. He's got cover from that arch, and if need be, he can drop very quickly down. Again, adjustment. The Crown Tyrant is taking his time to repair, get all of his guns back together, regroup, and hopefully get back into the fight.
Crown Tyrant just shot a... Oh, they have a mark on the God shot somehow. I didn't think that was possible.
How did they manage to get that? I think they might have seen it in just the smallest gap in the clouds. Oh my god!
Great, accurate firepower from both the Crown Tyrant and Polonius. I believe that Flak was successful in nearly stripping all the hull from that Mobula in a matter of seconds.
It was a good flak hit followed by one Mercury round, which took quite a lot of hull off. But they did have 4 well-placed Mercury rounds before that, stripped the hull down very quickly. Although at this point, I would think that the lusty Argonian maid might be trying to move around for a flanking maneuver. Let's see if we can find him. Where has he gone? I don't know. Aha, there he is. Oh, no, he isn't. He's holding position at the far edge of the map, a place where a lot of players don't bother looking because they can't assume you can get over there.
Checking the map here and checking where the Polonius is looking. The Cloud Break may give them a shot on the Got shot. It would be iffy, though. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get a good shot off on him. Yeah, the bridge here, the broken bridge, just gives too much cover right now for the Got shot, and they're not going to be able to connect with each other at this time.
That's just unfortunate. We have the lusty Argonian maid as well, has taken up position to the far edge of the map, just above the broken chimney, just as to get any spots that may be presentable, but there's a hefty amount of cloud cover between him and the enemy and the blue team.
Looking exactly what the God shot is up to. They're firing in the general direction of Polonius, but it is so far off that he really doesn't have a chance of hitting him.
Okay, we have the blue team's Pyramidion now flanking around the far side of the map to see whether or not he can get in behind them. He's doing another very ambitious flanking maneuver. Might be a little risky with the state of his permahull if he gets focus fired, but it also could prove to be the death of that Mobula if he can close the range quickly and headbutt it.
If he can get so much as a spot on the God shot is going to be in a lot of trouble. He's lost so much permahull at this point that even just a couple well-placed field gun and flak shots are going to be enough to not only strip his hull, but strip the permahull and completely obliterate him.
Pyramidion now is showing us a very good example of how to sneak up on somebody. You know roughly where they are, but you've got to keep objects and cloud cover between them. There's no point sitting there hoping for the spot if they can spot you and hit you back with very little chance of backup. So he's just holding position now, waiting for this cloud cover to dissipate to see whether or not he can do some damage.
Godshot rising up slightly to peek over the broken bridge here. Just barely enough to give his guns arc. I'm not sure this is a smart idea. With the Crown Tyrant coming around, though, this could be a little dangerous.
Oh, we can see his silhouette through the cloud. Through the cloud now, but the Mobula doesn't seem to have spotted him. He's getting closer and closer and closer to the Gaunt shot. Here he comes. I'm actually hoping that this ambitious move works because this is going to be a lot of fun if it does.
The Pyramidion has no sight. I'm positioning my camera right on the Pyramidion, and
he's spotted. The Gaunt shot out spotted him.
This is going to enable the Polonius to get some kind of fire on the Gaunt shot. The spot did go down. The spot did go down on the Mobula and not on the Pyramidion. That makes all the difference in the world. For the next few seconds, the blue team is going to have arc and fire on the God shot. Lusty Argonian Maid has been scared out into the open. There it goes!
Oh, again, you got that first spot in. They could not spot the Pyramidion, so they couldn't get accurate fire to disable those Mercury field guns. That's very well done.
We've just had someone drop from the game, unfortunately, on the Glowwater Thrall side of things.
Which team
there is going to be a pause in the game. That is a Glowwater Thralls engineer.
Yes, it's dropped off the Pyramidion, yes. So they have respected gentlemen's rules and are pausing now just to wait for excuse me, for Matilad. I don't even know how you pronounce that.
I've been pronouncing it Madeleine.
Madeleine?
Madeleine?
Yeah, I was going to say that's an L, not an I. Madeleine. Anyway,
he is back in game now, and we will continue action here.
Yeah, that's very well played by them. They even waited to spawn the Mobula until he came back, which was very gentlemanly of them. However, once they start, that Pyramidion is going to be right at that Mobula's sights. And off they go, straight away with the spot.
Crown Tyrant taking a very heavy shot from the Got Shot. Spot has gone down on the Got Shot, however, and if Crown Tyrant can survive and maneuver while continuing the Mercury fire, I do believe the Got Shot is going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Their Mercury field guns at the minute are down, so they cannot do any effective fire.
That's very well not what they wanted. Background. Also, they've lost an engine as well. That's going to hurt their maneuverability in trying to dodge more of those long-range shots.
That is very much a risk of using the side guns on the Pyramidion. Your starboard side turning engine is right next to, right underneath.
They have had a hull break on there. They are losing more perma-hull. They need to get behind Candy Mountain as fast as possible.
Yes, they do. Fortunately, they've lost that spot.
Crown Tyrant does indeed get back behind Candy Mountain. And they'll be able to repair at this point. Oh, they're swinging a little too far. Just a little bit too much momentum on the Crown Tyrant's part.
Oh.
They're opening up.
No, they're getting shot at by the Lusting.
Oh, there it is,
They anticipated that little drift and taking the opportunity to put down a little bit more pain. We may see the Crown Tyrant's balloon go. No, he's just managed to hide.
Just barely, though. Very tough position right now for the Crown Tyrant. It's sitting very low on the perma-hull. If they are able to get things back together, this could be a very bad situation going forward for the Glowwater Thralls. The Merry Thralls, rather.
Well, the Merry Thralls did have one thing going for them, is that little drift did manage them to get a decent spot on the Lusty Argonian Maid. The Lusty Argonian Maid won't be able to shake that spot unless he either descends or progresses forward into the cloud cover. So it is letting him have a fair amount of fire directed at him, but none of it's very successful at the moment.
Additionally, the fire on the Polonius has been excessively inaccurate. The Gents team can't seem to get a bead on exactly where the Polonius is coming from.
No, they can't. They're trying to return fire at who are they firing at? Trying to fire again at the Pyramidion hidden behind, just come out from behind Candy Mountain. They are in range, so they could do some damage if they can just get a spot or a few successive hits to show them where they are.
When an enemy team, when an opposing team does not have line of sight on a spire they're trying to kill, especially when, their line of sight is blocked by multiple cloud covers, how hard is it to hit that spire? It's a very oddly shaped ship.
It's a very strangely shaped ship. If they have a weapon which leaves a trace around, like the Flak or the Artemis, you can try and follow that back to the target. But it's very difficult to do because you're hitting such a ship with such a narrow profile and such a comparatively small balloon compared to many other ships.
And even if you're hitting the front of the balloon, isn't the front of the balloon considered hull and that little divot that sticks out?
That is a topic of argument at the moment. Some people would swear blind that it is, some people would swear blind that it isn't. I personally believe that it isn't, or the hull damage that does result of it is minimal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It just doesn't, I don't know, it might be changed in the patch, but that makes a very strange hitbox to have to fire around.
The Crown Tyrant has been spotted once again, the Glowwater Thrall ship in the Merry Thralls combination. Has Godshot and Lusty Argonian Maid have both turned their ships in that direction. The Crown Tyrant taking a lot of damage very quickly.
This is probably going to be the end for the Crown Tyrant. The Polonius has moved right out of range. Yep, there he goes.
It does indeed go down. Polonius did have spots, however, on both of the Gents ships. That has since dissipated, though. Those spots disappeared very quickly.
Those spots originated from the Paramedian, so when he went down, the line of sight which he had all became irrelevant, since there was nobody to look over there anymore.
Polonius is dropping down below where the Lusty Argonian Maid and Godshot are shooting, but Godshot did land a hit just now.
Oh, there he goes. He's dropped below the cloud cover, so there's no more cloud cover for the Polonius.
This is a very bad situation. Polonius cannot tank this kind of damage. It's losing all of its hull very quickly. It does indeed go down. 2 points for
That's what happens when
Gents.
you catch a spire in the open.
Ouch. That was brutal. Crown Tyrant trying its best to get some shots on the Godshot, but Hades Fire extremely inaccurate so far. A few of those shots landing, but most of those sailing below and to the right of where the Godshot was positioned.
The Godshot is maneuvering hard now to try and get out of the way of those fireballs, but it just seems to be working, actually. It just seems to be working.
Oh, we have a dropped member on the Merry Men ship, the Polonius. They are coming back into action right now. I'm not sure if we can request a pause now or not. It looks like they are progressing without their member for the time being. Crown, Tyrant, and Polonius bringing both their fire on the Lusty Argonian Maid. Lusty Argonian Maid's taking a lot of damage very quickly. Crown Tyrant being ripped apart by the Godshot with that Gatling cannon.
No. That is a very big problem for the Polonius. Their gunner has just dropped out, so that makes their flak very difficult to fire. It's either being fired by an inexperienced crew member or not being fired at all.
Or being fired by someone with the incorrect ammo loadout. A flak cannon is very...
Oh, they may have changed this.
Wow.
Sorry to at you, but that was actually a very good idea. The Crown Tyrant, the much tougher ship, tanking a heavy amount of damage. I don't know why the Mobula couldn't finish him off, but it didn't seem to be effective.
And now the Lusty Argonian Maid is in an unfortunate 2v1 scenario where the Merry Thrall ships know exactly where it is.
They're just getting... Their shots are just a little low at the moment, but the Lusty Argonian Maid does have a problem.
Drops a tar cloud.
Tar barrel.
I think that tar cloud is a bad idea, a really bad idea. You can see that tar cloud straight through the clouds.
Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't very many shots coming in at him at the moment, though.
And
you can't actually see that tar barrel through the clouds, but you can see it if the first set of clouds disappear. It's only because it's behind 2 layers of cloud cover is that it saved him.
Yeah, if the Polonius moved forward about 100 meters, they would have a great shot on the Lusty Argonian Maid. The clouds start to dissipate just barely enough where you can see its silhouette. Crown Tyrant moving forward. It did get a spot on a Lusty Argonian Maid. Very lucky spot. I didn't think he could have gotten that spot, but the Crown Tyrant does manage that, and the Polonius opens up with that heavy flak cannon and his Artemis.
The Polonius has had the very useful idea to go down that small gap between the clouds and just hope for him to come out, which he did.
Godshot is putting a lot of pressure on Crown Tyrant right now, but the Lusty Argonian Maid goes down. Polonius is now able to deal with the Godshot while the Crown Tyrant tries to wheel backwards and take care of their ship.
I wouldn't be surprised now if the Mobula starts to reverse and get out of there, just try and drop as low as he can out of range of them, which he is. He's trying to get back behind the bridge, back to the same scenario they had at the beginning of this match. Flak shots going very low now, which is a problem with the flak weapon. If your target is maneuvering rapidly, the arc is very hard to get right in the flak.
Godshot was rising slightly above those shots. It looks like it has started as well. It did have to take a few of those, though, when it stopped moving. Crown Tyrant still sitting very low on permahull. That's going to be a problem if they continue to engage the God Shot in brawls like that. But they have successfully tanked all that damage so far. Polonius taking a lot of hull damage all of a sudden from both the Lusty Argonian Maid and God Shot. Accurate firepower coming from those Artemis.
This is going to be a big upset for the Polonius.
3-3 now, tied up. 2 kills, gets the match. Or game, I'm sorry. It gets the game. Crown Tyrant, it looks like it's... Yes, he's
Crown
heading...
Tyrant's trying to hide again underneath the archway.
Successfully getting there, too. Doing his best to get in cover.
Yes, I agree with you 100%, Dan.
He has to play it safe right now. A full team sweep from the Gents will get not just a game win, but a match win and progress them to the finals of today's Box Social.
So we have the Polonius spawned underneath the Cathedral Archway, as I tend to call it. It's not the actual name for it, it's just the way I refer to it. And he's progressing forward now. He may be a little bit too high. He has no cover in front of him. So if they decide to change targets...
A little bit too high and too late. Crown Tyrant just lost all of their permahull in a couple very good shots from the Lusty Argonian Maid.
Oh, if I was the Polonius now, I'd try and get right back.
Sox is a very intelligent player. He is already wheeling backwards, trying to get into cover. The Spire, not one to be able to tank too well. Polonius taking a lot of damage, though.
He's to start to climb now, otherwise he's going to collide into that terrain, which is unfortunate in the Spire, since you've got such a large spike below. It's very difficult to remember.
Maid actually still has arc on him. Very good positioning by Byron Cavendish has kept the Lusty Argonian Maid in direct shot and line of sight of the Polonius.
However, those shots are only coming in at non-essential parts of the ship, such as the balloon and upper hull. So it's making those shots a little less effective, although the Polonius has backed out a bit too far now and widened the range again.
Godshot is back in arc and is actually closing the gap somewhat quickly. By Crown Tyrant, though, swinging in. Polonius on its very last leg. A sliver permahull left. Crown Tyrant.
They are pushing hard for that win.
Oh my goodness, there it goes.
Oh!
Wow.
That's a typical Gents finisher. Push as hard and as fast as you can, as we've mentioned before. When someone gets to 4, all rules and strategy go out the window. It's get in and hit them hard. Very well done to the Gents.
5-3 win in favor of the Gents. They win this matchup as well and progress to the next game in the series. I believe that will be the finals for this evening's Saturday Box Social. We don't know exactly who is going to be playing them yet. The Mandarins have yet to see who wins between Sacrilege and Overwatch. They're on their second game currently, and we should see exactly who's come out of that. Sacrilege actually won over Overwatch 5-2 in their first game.
Well, we should see. These are the games that we like to see, close firing matches between the two ships. That is what I prefer to see. Good brawls all the way through. People say that long-range matches are dull to watch. Well, that one was anything but.
We had a really good kind of sniper-esque match happen. Was that this Friday or this Thursday? I forget exactly which day it was, but it was the opposite of any kind of normal sniping match. Very back and forth. I believe that was between the Overwatch folks in Puppy and Redria versus the Mandarins. And it was technically a sniping match because they all took sniping loadouts, but it was a lot of pressure, very back and forth. I remember Northern Fjord specifically, as we just played it, the amount of intensity and pressure going on between the two teams trying to jockey properly for position, it was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Confirming that we are going to... confirming to see what happens next here. I do believe...
lobby for the map.
There is no next map.
Oh, hang on, sorry, my brain's not working.
I do believe that's actually going to be all for us. Urs will be taking the Mandarins and the finals for today. Because there are only single games left and available. We're going to go ahead and sign off for now then, guys. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you give us a follow here on twitch.tv/The Rob and Dan Show. We have broadcasts happening every single day, including Guns of Icarus, Kerbal Space Program, and Sunday Night Space Flight, as well as Freelancer, and sometimes even FTL if Rob really is feeling adventurous. We also have things like Tuesdays, Terran Tuesdays, and the Rob and Dan Show itself, which happens Mondays at 1 p.m. EST. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. For Rob, I have been Dan.
For Dan, I have been Rob.
And for Morty, he's been Morty. Morty, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. I hope to see everyone soon. And thank you very much to everyone watching the stream.
Everyone, if you head over to twitch.tv/CE Sports, you can see the rest of the Box Social going on for the rest of your Saturday afternoon. Again, everyone, thank you for joining us so very much. We're going to be signing off now. Have a great afternoon.